Okay, I think I'm live. If you are out there and you can actually hear what is being said, please let me know in the chat. I don't know what I'm doing here. Let's see. Are you hearing this? Okay. Can you hear me? Oh, there it is. Yes. Okay. Little lag. All right, guys. Sorry. I am new to this YouTube thing, as you know. Normally I just well, when I go live on Facebook, but we're done with that. So, welcome to my YouTube channel. It's actually been sitting here for kind of a while. I just haven't done anything with it. That's gonna change though. I do hope to start going live more, and I hope to start going live more over here instead of on Facebook. I've been spending some of my personal time doing some of the other or YouTube shows. I hope to do more of that. So if you're into that kind of thing and you want to hear what I have to say, yeah, be sure to smash that subscribe button, as they say. And while we wait for a few more people to drop by, definitely I'm seeing so many people I know and love in the chat, so definitely give me a shout out. Oh, Steve Solomon, oh, Rob Schreck, oh, Lady Lilith. I thought I saw some family members in there too. This is very exciting, everybody. So shout out where you're from. Say hi in the chat. I am tuning in. Tuning in? No, I don't know. Broadcasting. I'm broadcasting from up here in blue, Wisconsin, Madison, Wisconsin, and it's Friday night. So feel free to grab a libation or a beverage of your choice. It is a celebration. So I know some of you were worried. I saw like one or two people guessing and they were concerned. Stop, don't be worried. This is a good news announcement. This is exciting, right? New Jersey, all right, Philly, bring it home. Oklahoma, Blue Arizona. Oh my gosh, look at this. We're all over the place. This is fantastic. Houston, Will Judy, Andrew's cousin in Texas. I think we're more like brothers from another mother, my friend. Um, but yes, it's dark times. Dark times, things are scary. I mean, even there are bright spots, right? Like Trump lost the election. That's fantastic. He's losing it again every single day. But things are still dark, right? Things are still scary. I've been working from home now for basically 10 months. We've been essentially on quarantine. So things are scary. The Supreme Court, along with COVID, are just deeply alarming. Trump's destroying democracy as an entire party sits mutely by and just kind of like the quislings they are, watches it happen. So we've got the point is, I'm not here to bring you down. We've got to celebrate the things we can celebrate. And this is our one chance, this life. So let's celebrate while we can. We've got to make it count. And in times like this, we really have to seize that joy in a bear hug and hold on. So tonight I am here to celebrate and thank you for joining me. So I'm gonna get to the announcement in just a minute, but you guys had some really fun guesses, and so I wanted to go through those first because they were really funny. We were making me smile and laugh. Quite a few of you actually jokingly guessed. I hope they were jokes that I found Jesus. You found Jesus 2020. Sherry Gambino joked. The Triangle Free Thought Society, who should know better, said you're finally ready to admit that Jesus is your Lord. That got a good laugh over on the Facebook page. And that's a funny comment over there. No, I have not found Jesus. That would be far more lucrative, right? Like, it's kind of a shame that I have this like well-defined moral code. If I didn't care, if I didn't care about truth and justice so much, right? I could make a boatload of money by publicly converting to the other side. Going to work for Liberty Council or First Liberty or ADF, or writing a book about how I found Jesus. That's caring about truth and justice, though. It's an issue. Natalie Newell guessed, speaking of truth and justice, she said, I know you're officially changing your name to Atheist Captain America. So Natalie and Tracy Moody and Susan Turpin and a few others have been doing their best to get that nickname to stick, and it never ceases to flatter me. But nope, that's not it. Anthony Affleback, who's a good friend from Florida, a longtime supporter, thought that I was hired as the president of Liberty University, Jerry Falwell's old stomping grounds. But no, again, it's the morals. I'm not a hypocrite. So no, that doesn't work. Phil, I don't know if that's funny or not. Let's see. Eka. Well, I'm shaking the feed there. Eka says, I hope you're bringing back Celebrity Deathmatch and pitting claymation theists against atheists. So I guess in that scenario, I'm like Ben Wyatt from Parks and Rec, who's totally not depressed and making awesome claymation, right? Uh, I mean, who doesn't have a bit of quarantine fatigue? But thankfully, I am not there quite yet. Um, Jesse Ramsaran, who I'm a big fan of, said I got her edible arrangement and that I didn't need to do this big announcement and make all this fuss about it, though. Appreciate that, Jesse. Thank you. And then two more guesses. Two more guesses I got on my list. Thomas Smith said we're getting the photos with a GIF of Daniel Craig walking out of the ocean as James Bond from Casino Royale. You all know the scene. Don't act like you don't know the scene. No, I mean, for those of you in the know on this, I don't know if I want to explain it. Actually, I did say that if Ossoff and Warnock won, that I would consider dropping one of those photos. Okay, nobody wants to hear about that. And then quite a few of you actually. So these are the last guesses I'll mention, and then I'll get to the big fun. They were all kind of the same, right? So Shanna Delos over on Instagram thought that the Biden administration had asked me to help serve. Mike Healy thought it might be a cabinet position, which was super flattering, Mike. Marcus Rademacher said something similar, and there's been a couple in the chat right now. Those were kind of the most popular guesses, and I was surprised at how many people went for that. So I have to announce that is not it. No, I'm sorry. So there was one person who guessed right. I have her name written down here. I'll say that in a minute. But let me tell you first what's going on. So who guessed right? What is it? Tonight, I am celebrating because I just signed a contract to publish my second book, Weaponizing Religious Freedom. It could not be more timely. It's the book that we all need right now. The Supreme Court is doing its damnedest to turn this hallowed personal protection that's enshrined in our Constitution into a weapon of discrimination and destruction, and now even disease. So I'm going to tell the stories behind the cases that the court and the media and even the public have been getting wrong. And I'm going to explain what our Constitution demands, what it does, and why. I'm going to show that religious freedom is a right to believe whatever you want, but not an unlimited right to act on those beliefs. That the right to worship ends where the rights of others begins. So from COVID to the gay wedding cake case to Kim Davis to Hobby Lobby to cases that seem to say the government can take your money as a taxpayer and then give the proceeds to churches, to cases back dealing with drug use in the 1990s, to the racial justice cases before that and even farther back. So you're going to get the real stories, the facts, the history, and the law, all with that irreverent touch that I cannot seem to resist. Weaponizing Religious Freedom. The publication date is not set just yet, but it is going to be early in 2022, the first half of the year for sure. So I'm on like a pretty tight deadline. Big props to Julia Cote, who guessed correctly on my Facebook page. The only one. I thought for sure some of you guys are going to get this. And then all the Biden serving administration, I'm like, maybe I overblew with this announcement a little bit. But I'm really excited about it. It's really the first book was a dream come true. It really was. I didn't know that it was going to happen. Susan Jacoby really was a big influence and mentor to me, and really encouraged me to go out and get an agent and go out and get a publisher and make the book into what it was, rather than just sort of more uh, kind of like more of a self-published thing or a series of law review articles or something like that. And really, she helped me along the way, and now all of a sudden I'm doing a second book. So it's really exciting. I'm going to start a new thing on the Buy Me a Coffee website, if anybody is into this, where I will be doing sort of some more writing updates as I'm working through this book and as I'm developing the arguments and doing the research. If you want to support the book itself and the work, you can go check it out on Buy Me a Coffee. Oh wait, I'll post a link here. It's a way to support the work that I'm doing just for the book. You know, I already got a new computer for it. I had to get a bunch of subscription services for research. I've actually got a research assistant this time. One of the fellows, Colin McNamara, who helped me vet all of the 1,300 footnotes that are in the founding myth, is going to help me out again. But mostly, I've got to get up at 5 a.m. every day to write. That's what I've been doing every day this week. There's a calendar just off here that you can't see, but I'm getting up at 5 a.m. every day and working for as long as I can until I actually have to go to my day job. And then I'm kind of doing the same thing for an hour or two in bed in the evening. So I really need that caffeine if you want to buy me a coffee. And if there's enough demand, you know, I think I will do some special things over there, like exclusive Q&As or chats, you know, maybe some email send outs about what I'm writing. I haven't really explored it over there, but you know, we'll see. Talk about kind of the parts of the book that I'm finished, maybe even some brainstorming sessions for things that I'm, you know, still trying to work out. So, you know, just something to think about. I I would definitely. Oh, somebody said, "Yeah, I pronounced your name correctly." I'm. Wait, is that Julia? Is that you? That must be you. Julia, so Def Jules over here in the chat. If you're seeing in the chat, Def Jules, Jules, she's the one who got it right. So everybody give her some big props. That is the announcement. Weaponizing religious freedom, coming at you early 2022. I'm super excited about it. That's also my beverage of choice this evening is Red Breast 15 year, which is what one of my oldest friends, Aaron, we've been friends for 20 years, lived next door to each other freshman year, got me when the founding myth came out. He bought me that bottle, and was really a fun evening to celebrate that. So incidentally, if you're looking for the perfect if you're looking for the perfect holiday gift, the perfect war on Christmas gift, you can get signed personalized copies of the founding myth for your family members, your Christian nationalist family members, whoever. You can do that on the FFRF website. So anyway, I'm seeing questions here and I'm going to try to get to them, and I should have been paying more attention to the chat. Sorry, this is, again, stick with me here. This is my first time doing this. So I'll do some Monday morning quarterbacking. And David Worley, who's in the chat over here, I'm going to talk to you, David, because you have done this before and you're going to tell me what I did wrong and how I can be better. I've got some people volunteering to help me moderate and stuff. So that's all helpful. I don't know what I'm doing. I like to talk to you. That's it. That's all I know. So other than that, yes. So the working title is Weaponizing Religious Freedom. The title does get changed by the publishers from time to time. The founding myth was not originally called the founding myth. It was originally called Un-American, and then there was a subtitle that I don't remember. But Weaponizing Religious Freedom is pretty good, and it's kind of like the thesis right there in 3 words. So I think that's going to be it. But you never know. You never know. I don't know, Jay, when it will be available for pre-order. But if you stick with me, I will absolutely let you know. And yeah, so there's no cover art yet. Like, I just signed the contract a couple days ago for this, but I was so excited. I didn't want to, let it slide. I wanted to. I had to come share it with you. And again, I think it's important. Things are so awful and scary right now that it's important to seize on those moments and celebrate them when we can. Beej asks, how is the first book selling? I'm happy with it. The publisher has been asking me to do another one since late last year. I was kind of going back and forth. I wanted to. I didn't think I was going to be able to have the time. We had a lot of family issues at the beginning of this year, and then with COVID, it was really difficult. And I mean, finding the time is now just, it's never going to happen. So I'm making the time to do it. And it's going to be a pretty tight, compressed timeline, right? So the founding myth I worked on for years. And then I had an almost final, I had certainly had a final idea for the book, and almost all the research and writing had been done. It needed a lot of work and needed a lot of polishing and a lot of fact checking, all kinds of stuff still. But I had a product that I could take to a publisher, whereas here it's an idea, so it's going to be start to finish. So it's going to be a lot of hustle. It's going to be a lot of hustle. So anyway, we shall see. Looks like Triangle Free Thought is calling dibs on having you come speak when it releases. Come back to Raleigh. I will definitely do that. That was the founding myth. The first tour of the founding myth was a Bible Belt tour that was Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and I plan on doing that again for sure. Will Judy? I don't think the publisher will go for your suggested title. My apologies. David Steketee says no decal edge. How dare you, sir? Decal edge is the height of artisanal publishing, and that was like the one thing that I wanted in my first book. I love a decal edge. If you don't know what a decal edge is, hang on, everybody. A decal edge is this. So if you look at the founding myth, see that little zigzag there? So originally when they would cut stacks of pages when they were binding books, right? You'd lay them out and you'd cut them all even, but then when you fold them up in half, they don't all reach the same length because the outer ones are traveling a farther distance, essentially. So you get these kind of cool decal edge, this zigzag, that's what it's called, decal edge. So that's how they originally, the camera won't focus on it. That's how it's an old school style. And now they just come through with like a huge industrial blade. So point being, artisanal publishing, my friend. So that's what you want. That's what you want. I would definitely come back to Louisville and Chicago Humanist, of course. Some people are saying keep the beard. I go back and forth on the beard. It's cold up here in Wisconsin. I like to have a little face sweater for the cold months. However, not going outside all that much. So, but I try to leave it on during mostly the winter months and then get rid of it. So, yeah, see, Joe Couch knows. Okay. Decal edge. I'm going to ask for it. You've been overruled, David Steketee. Phil Ferguson says, call me so we can invest the $1 million advance. Phil, I just posted a link to the Buy Me Coffee website where people can support my writing habit because there's not a whole lot of money in publishing, my man. In the founding myth, at any of the books sold through the FFRF store, I donate all the royalties back. There's not a lot of money in writing books. Certainly fun, and I love writing. I did the math, and in my day job, I write something like between 2.1 and 2.3 million words a year for my day job, and that exclusive of the things that I do on my own time. To give you an idea, so I love to write and I love to have these arguments, and I think they're absolutely crucial. So definitely not doing it for the money, but if I can scrape together, like, I don't know, a couple grand, I'll come to you and you can invest it. For people who don't know, Phil Ferguson right there in the chat is like a secular investing guru. Can we use the word guru, Phil? I don't know. You should go check him out. He knows what he's doing. Let's see who else has some questions here. There's a distracted lawyer. All you get to do is review depot transcripts. Yeah. I was in private practice before I started working in the nonprofit sector, and as awesome as the money is in private practice, especially compared to nonprofit work, I love what I do. I get so excited to wake up in the morning and, now wake up in the morning at 5 and start writing, and then wake up in the morning and have the fight that I get to have. So it really, I mean, I hate to say it because it sounds sort of trite, and even having a job in these times is really, amazing. But I love. Oh, good. Love what you do. Distract the layer. Good. So I'm just on like a total. Yeah. One of the weird things about working for a nonprofit too is if you're successful, right? Like if you ever achieve your goal, you're out of a job. So, I mean, this is like the silver lining you tell yourself in like the Trump era as well. And with this Supreme Court, well, I'm not going to be out of a job anytime soon. Um, so, Joe, you're going to have to re-ask that question. Will my book discuss various defenses against the weaponization of religious freedom? I mean, you mean how do we fight back against it? I presume. Yes, I will. I will certainly talk about that. And kind of one of the things that we're seeing here, and you saw this in the Thanksgiving case, is the courts are starting to the courts, I should the Trump judges, with the allying with the few deeply conservative judges that were already on the courts, are essentially now creating a hierarchy of rights. So some rights are more important than others, where religious freedom would be like the top of this pyramid of this hierarchy, and then probably like Second Amendment rights is going to be moving up there too. And you can imagine where they're not only going to be shifting rights up, they're also going to be shifting rights down. But religious freedom is quickly becoming a right to not only infect other people with deadly diseases and spread them, but to discriminate. We're going to see that case coming down, the Fulton versus Philadelphia case. So yeah, lots. TST is a good defense. Satanic Temple, I love Satanic Temple. I love Lucian. I used to joke that the Free Thought Hall, I have a big, like one of those. What's the office stores? Is it Staples? Whatever the one that they had the red button commercials, whatever that was back when there was commercials were a thing when people watched TV. I have a TST red button on my desk that I slap in certain circumstances. Um, I love the work they do. It's really important. Um, and I have found that members of TST are just some of the warmest, awesomest, coolest people I've ever met. Just a really great group. Um, would I accept a SCOTUS position were it offered? No, no, I wouldn't. I don't. I personally don't think I am qualified for SCOTUS. Would hold that in too high a regard. Though, if you're, I guess it's so outlandish. And with everybody who they've put on, I mean, Amy Barrett is on there. Yeah, I mean, it's just not going to happen. So no, I like fighting from the outside though, and I like forcing to create change from the outside. I really enjoy that, and not feeling muzzled. But I don't know if I wouldn't leap at the chance to get involved. One thing that I would like to see that we didn't see this campaign, and I think we're going to see it soon. I haven't even seen great numbers. I've been waiting to see great data on voting. But I would like to see more secular outreach from our campaigns, and that's gonna happen soon. That's gonna happen soon. So anyway, let's see. Compared to the last appointee, you're way overqualified. That's very nice. The Supreme Court takes cases on popularity. As religions decline, how is this clash going to play out? Great question, Kyle. That's something I'm definitely going to cover in the book. I mean, if you, it is that you can't ignore the demographics and how, first of all, how underrepresented the Supreme Court is compared to the rest of the country. You've got basically just Catholics and Jews on the Supreme Court. So you're talking about like a quarter of the population represented there. Though Gorsuch does consider, I believe he calls himself an Episcopalian now, even though he's raised Catholic. So that's one thing to think about. But also the cases they are deciding, they're deciding in favor of a majority that is shrinking into a minority. So anyway, the point of that being, they're trying to enshrine their privilege before they lose their demographic supremacy, and that's certainly going to be, it's something I talked about a little bit in the founding myth, but I'm definitely going to get into more in this book for sure. Me and P. Andrew Torres can work share a SCOTUS seat. I mean, I think we ought to double the size of the Supreme Court, so we could each take one. I'd be happy to do that. Yes, for people who are coming a little late, this is Redbreast 15. It was a nice bottle given to me by a buddy when I published The Founding Myth, and I thought it was an appropriate for announcing that book number two is in the works and on the way. I'm very excited about it, and I'm glad that you all came over here to share it with me. Let me see. Let me scan up here, see if I missed anything. If you got a question, um, ask it again if I haven't gotten to it. I see one here. Have we considered partnering with Sheldon Whitehouse on the influence of judges, funding amicus briefs? Um, well, in my day job, um, we do a lot of work with members of the Senate Judiciary Committee. I'll leave it at that. Um, I'll leave it at that for the moment. If you want to support the work, buy me a coffee is the place to do it. There's a link somewhere up above. I think it's on the YouTube. I put it on the YouTube channel somewhere, guys, but again, I don't know what I'm doing. So okay, have you read Hyperion Cantos? No, have not. It'd be a good solstice read. I mean, right now I'm spending most of my time researching and writing. So um, no, it's not going to be just case studies. This is going to be resetting. Like we have to think and we have to reconceptualize religious freedom. It will be doing that using stories to reconceptualize religious freedom and to resituate it and re-theorize it as it was meant to be, essentially, right? Like there's just a few simple lines that we can draw. These cases are not hard. They're not hard. Um, the first line that we draw is between belief and action. You have the right to believe anything you want, but you don't have the right to act on that belief. So your right to believe is absolute. Your right to act is not. That's the first line that we draw. The second line is, okay, well, if you have not, if the government can step in on certain actions, well, what actions? Where do we draw the line? What actions are okay for the government to regulate and what actions are not okay? And we know for sure that the government can step in at least when those actions start to impact the rights of other people, when they start to injure somebody else. So that's the bare, that's from there and possibly over, the government can be stepping in. And that answers most of the religious freedom questions that we have. And like, only if you look at the COVID case, look at the Cuomo New York case that just came down on Thanksgiving Eve, right? The court essentially gave churches the right to infect everybody else. And you need to know too that this is not just about people going to the church, right? Like if it were just people getting sick and going to the church, then you might have an argument. Look, they're not affecting other people's rights because they're not infecting anybody else. But that's not the way it happens. That's never the way it happens. And I've talked about, I've talked about the case in Ohio. I was actually on opening arguments. I recorded with Andrew and Thomas yesterday um, about that. So you should go listening to the opening arguments podcast. I think it's dropping Tuesday. Um, if you're interested, go listen to that when it drops. I talked about this on Ask an Atheist. Steve Solomon. Hi, Steve. It's so good to see your name and your face in this tiny little circle over here. Can I give a preview of my talk in Boston 2021? I mean, I don't know if I'm going to be up slated to speak in Boston 2021. For those of you who don't know what Steve's talking about, he's talking about the Freedom from Religion Foundation convention is in Boston in 2021. The lineup is going to be kind of epic um, because we're having some of our speakers who we had to cancel for this year come back. Um, so it's going to be pretty packed. So I don't know that I'll get a speaking spot. I mean, Gloria Steinem is going to be there. Margaret Atwood is going to be there. Like, I don't know that I'm going to be. Let's see your dog. Don't you have it? I do have a dog. He is not here, and our the door is shut. He's not going to be pushing his way in. Do you think Biden admin will hold the prayer breakfast or anyone else in the family? Probably not. So yeah, no. Um, let's see. Is it naive of me to think that Trump's lawsuits will stop being tossed like turkeys after Biden's inauguration? Um, well, I mean, do you mean I presume you mean his election lawsuits. they're going to fizzle after the inauguration, I would imagine. There's not going to be much to be gained from that. They're going to have, well, we'll find out, I guess. Now you got me thinking because there's not much to be gained about them anyway, so it's mostly political. Anyway, that's been 30 minutes, and it's Friday night. You guys have been so generous. Y'all have been so generous to come hang out with me. I really appreciate it. Founding Myth is out. Makes a great Christmas present for your super conservative family members. If you want to support the writing and kind of get more involved in like Andrew's thinking on the writing and what I'm doing behind the scenes, and go check out the Buy Me a Coffee site and buy me a coffee because I'm getting up every day at 5 a.m. to work. But otherwise, I mean, this is it. Weaponizing religious freedom. I think it's going to be a very timely book, and early 2022. And thank you all so much for joining me. I really just really appreciate it. Um, I'm gonna hope. I hope to do more of these. Yes, need more coffee injected into my veins. I will try to do more of this. So, anyway, I'm so glad I have such a wonderful, supportive group of people behind me. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and I will see you again soon. And now I'm gonna try to figure out how to end this thing.